Señores, les voy a decir quién soy. Yo soy Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. Mis ojos están en todos lados, o sea, ustedes no pueden hacer una puta sola mierda en el departamento de Antioquia.
Hey everyone, I'm Matthew and you're watching Scrollstopper. Here, we bring you powerful stories, fresh perspectives, and thought-provoking moments designed to make you stop scrolling and start connecting. If you're looking for content that inspires, informs, and keeps you hooked, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe, like and do share the video.
The King of Cocaine, The Rise and Fall of Pablo Escobar. Start of audio story. Chapter 1, The Ambitious Dreamer. In the rugged, mountainous region of Antioquia, Colombia, the city of Medellín in the 1950s was a place of sharp contrasts. Nestled in a valley, it was known as the City of Eternal Spring, but for many, life was far from idyllic. In this environment, a young Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born on December 1, 1949, into a middle-class family. His father was a farmer, and his mother was a schoolteacher. Even as a teenager, Pablo's ambition was palpable. He wasn't content with a modest life. Legend has it that he once told a girlfriend that he dreamed of one day becoming president of Colombia. But he also made a darker vow that if he couldn't achieve that, he would instead become a millionaire. He started his entrepreneurial journey on the streets of Medellín, engaging in petty crime, selling stolen cigarettes, forging high school diplomas, and swiping tombstones to resell. It was a small-time beginning for a man with colossal dreams. The turning point came in the early 1970s. Pablo discovered the product that would define his destiny: cocaine. While marijuana was popular, cocaine was the luxury drug, the status symbol of the wealthy in the United States. Pablo saw an opportunity that was as vast as the ocean. He began by acting as a middleman, but his genius lay in his vision. He didn't just want to be a smuggler, he wanted to build an empire. Chapter 2, The Birth of an Empire. Pablo Escobar understood the basic principles of economics: control the supply, control the market. He began by establishing relationships with coca growers in Peru and Bolivia, and setting up processing labs in the remote jungles of Colombia. But his real innovation was in logistics. He created a sophisticated transportation network, using small planes, submarines, speedboats, and even human mules to flood the American market with white powder. This was the foundation of the Medellín Cartel, a ruthless and efficient syndicate that, at its zenith in the 1980s, controlled an estimated 80% of the global cocaine trade. The cartel wasn't a loose group of criminals. It was a multinational corporation with Pablo Escobar as its sole, undisputed CEO. He ran it with a brutal management philosophy he called plata o plomo. Silver or lead. A bribe or a bullet. You could take his money and look the other way, or you and your family would face the consequences. The money that flowed in was beyond comprehension. It's estimated that at the height of his power, Escobar was earning up to $60 million a day. He had a collection of planes, helicopters, and luxury cars. He would burn millions of dollars just to keep his daughter warm while camping. The money was also a problem, literally. Rats and moisture would eat through the stacks of cash, so he had to spend over $1,000 a month just on rubber bands to hold it all together.
Chapter 3, The Robin Hood of Medellín. While building his empire, Escobar cultivated a powerful public image. He understood the power of the people. In the slums of Medellín, where the government was absent, Pablo Escobar became the state. He built thousands of houses, funded schools, constructed soccer fields, and provided community utilities. He handed out cash to the poor on the streets. During Christmas, he would give away thousands of gifts. To the disenfranchised masses, he was El Patron, or Robin Hood. He was a man who stole from the rich gringos and gave to the poor in his own country. This populist strategy bought him immense loyalty and a human shield. The people of the barrios would hide him, lie for him, and warn him of police movements. This love was genuine, and it made him nearly untouchable for years.
Chapter 4, The Descent into Narco-Terrorism. The Assad began to crack in the Colombian government, under immense pressure from the United States, signed an extradition treaty. This meant that Colombian drug lords could be sent to face justice in American courts, where prisons offered no luxury and no control. For Escobar, this was a death sentence. He declared war on the Colombian state, coining the term Los Extraditables. Their slogan was chilling, food for thought of rape and belonging to a jail cell in the United States. What followed was a period of unprecedented violence and counter-terrorism. Escobar's cartel began systematically assassinating anyone who stood in their way. They targeted police officers, offering a bounty for each one killed, leading to the murders of hundreds. They killed judges who dared to rule against them. They killed journalists who reported on their crimes. The violence reached its horrific peak with a campaign of bombings. In 1989, they bombed Avianca Flight 203 in a failed attempt to kill a presidential candidate, murdering all 107 people on board. Later that year, they detonated a truck bomb in front of the headquarters of Colombia's Administrative Security Department, the DAS, killing 63 people, injuring more than 1,000, and devastating 15 city blocks. The streets of Bogotá and Medellín became battlefields. Pablo Escobar was no longer just a drug dealer, he was a terrorist holding an entire nation hostage. Chapter 5: The Surrender and the Prison. The pressure became too great, even for Escobar. In 1991, after years of war, he negotiated a surreal surrender. He struck a deal with the government. He would turn himself in, but only if he was housed in a prison he himself would design, and only if the extradition treaty was abolished. The result was La Catedral, a prison built on a hill overlooking his hometown of Medellín. It was less a prison and more a luxurious fortress. It featured a football field, a giant dollhouse for his daughter, a bar, a jacuzzi, and sophisticated communication equipment. From within La Catedral, Escobar continued to run his criminal empire, throwing parties and directing his operations with impunity. His downfall began from within these very walls. In 1992, he tortured and murdered 2 of his cartel associates inside La Catedral for allegedly disrespecting him. This act was too brazen, even for a corrupted government. The president ordered him to be transferred to a standard military prison. Knowing that this move would break his deal and leave him vulnerable, Pablo Escobar did what he did best: he escaped. With the help of his guards, he simply walked out of La Catedral and vanished back into the hills of Medellín. Chapter 6: The Hunt and the Fall. His escape triggered the final, furious chapter. The manhunt was now led not only by the Colombian government's elite search bloc but also by a shadow vigilante group called Los Pepes, comprised of his enemies from the rival Cali cartel, former associates, and victims' families. Los Pepes waged a brutal war of their own, bombing his properties and killing his lawyers and financiers, systematically dismantling his support network. The search bloc, using sophisticated American surveillance technology and intelligence with Los Pepes, closed the net. They tracked his communications, focusing on his love for his family, which proved to be his final vulnerability. On December 2, 1993, one day after his 44th birthday, the search bloc located him in a middle-class neighborhood in Medellín, hiding in a safe house with his bodyguard. The building was surrounded. A fierce shootout erupted. As the soldiers stormed the building, they found Pablo Escobar and his bodyguard on a rooftop. In the final moments, 3 bullets struck Escobar, 2 in the body and 1, the fatal shot, through his ear. The official report states he was killed in a gunfight with the search bloc. But many, including his son, believe that, cornered and facing capture, he took his own life. The king of cocaine was dead. His body was displayed publicly on the very rooftop where he fell, a stark and grisly confirmation to a nation that the nightmare was finally over. The official report states he was killed in a gunfight with the search bloc. But many, including his son, believe that, cornered and facing capture, he took his own life. The king of cocaine was dead. His body was displayed publicly on the very rooftop where he fell, a stark and grisly confirmation to a nation that the nightmare was finally over. Epilogue: A complicated ghost. Pablo Escobar's legacy is a ghost that still haunts Colombia. He was a man of terrifying contradictions, a ruthless mass murderer who built homes for the poor, a criminal who challenged the state and nearly won. He showed the world the catastrophic power of the drug trade, a power that can corrupt governments, terrorize populations, and create a perverse form of celebrity. His story is a permanent, dark stain on history, a chilling lesson in how ambition, when completely untethered from morality, can unleash hell on earth. The world of Pablo Escobar was one of extreme wealth and extreme violence, a kingdom built on cocaine, and a reign that ended, as it always was destined to.